Hello, this is Ken Bottacher, also known as Bad Ken on the BattleForge forums and Karch in the game. This video is a quadruple speed replay of the single player PVE map Behind Enemy Lines. It's on expert difficulty and I'm using a full nature deck. Behind Enemy Lines may at first seem like the hardest single player expert map, but it's really just a waiting game. This map tests your patience. You can't move in too quickly on the objectives. If you do, you'll have trouble with some of the map's annoying little features. The first annoying feature you have to deal with is the 3 towers that surround your starting orb. They can be cleared with a small group of Windweavers, but you have to destroy them quickly so you can catch the first pair of Twilight Disciples moving from north to southwest. I'm clearing the south tower and west tower first, so I can fire over the cliffs on the Disciples from the south and west sides of the central area. While most of my force works on the west tower, I send one group of Windweavers north to lure the first Disciple there into the middle of the map. Building as many Windweavers as power will allow at first, only one Shaman to keep them healed up. While the single Windweaver dances up north, I root the southern Disciple and kill it. The beginning here is actually one of the tougher parts of the map because you're actually doing 2 things at once for quite a while at the start. Next up is the east tower, and like the others, I pull the Spearmen away first before attacking the tower. The first attack on the center is coming, so I have to be ready with another root spell, and that makes it easier to kill the Era 3 Twilight Horror with Era 1 units. You're stuck with only one orb for quite some time at the beginning of this map, so you have to mass units or rely on towers to help. I like units because they're more flexible. The next pair of Disciples are already being infected at the north and south bases, so I have to catch them on the way out again. I've sent a single Windweaver north again, but this time it has to be careful to avoid the patrols when pulling the northern Disciple. Dropping roots after patrols have passed makes it easier. Note that I didn't need roots in the south because I have enough Windweavers now to kill the Disciple quickly before it can run past. Now I can start catching the Disciples before they get infected in the north and south. It's also a good idea to use the time between Disciples to kill patrols. The less of them running around, the less chance you have of getting tangled up with them when you need to be killing Disciples. Putting up power wells in the center early is good too, not only for the power, but they also make an early target for the patrols that would otherwise head for your orb. And this shows what I mean about getting tangled up with patrols. An extra horror joined this fight, so I wasn't able to catch the north Disciple before it became infected. I did catch the next south Disciple though, but I have to hurry west so I don't miss the north one heading southwest. And I lost my only Shaman there. Better get another one. You really don't want those Disciples making it to the southwest because they transform into big Era 4 Twilight abominations. They come into the center and waste your orbs. Now this time I was able to catch both of the Disciples before they made it to get infected. Little roots helped up in the north there. And for the next little bit, this is what I'm going to do with this group. I'm going to build up the group, catch the Disciples on the way in, catch any patrols that I can, and just wait until I have a large enough force to attack the north and south bases at the same time, which is going to be pretty soon now. It's important to get the force built up quickly at the start to conserve power and use it only for building units so that you can get to the north and south bases as quickly as possible. Because on this map, there's a timer when the patrols start getting tougher. So if you spend all of your time running back and forth like this, killing a Disciple, running to the other side, killing the other Disciple, eventually you start getting really hard Era 3 units coming in patrols, and they'll basically overwhelm you, and you won't have enough firepower to take the north and south bases. So see, now I've got 12 units of Windweavers and 4 Shamans, so I split them up into 2 groups. I need both groups to take care of these Twilight Horrors, but as soon as I can, I'm going to take them north and south and attack the north and south bases. I'm taking out towers first before I go in, and I missed the Disciples before they got infected on that pass, but that's okay because I can easily catch them with these groups on the way out. As soon as I catch that Disciple, as soon as I kill the Disciple, I can go in right away and start the attack on the base. That gives me time to kill the stuff in the base before the next Disciple arrives. So I can get a wall up, get my Windweavers on the wall, and makes it much easier to defend that area. Disciple made it into the north before I got the wall up. The south things are going pretty well, getting the second orb built there. But in the north I had trouble because a Twilight Horror came in right after the attack group, so that slowed them down a little bit. They haven't been able to clear the area as quickly as they should. And the patrols are giving them a hard time. There we go. I got the third orb built there. Still got strong patrols coming in. The wall's not up yet, so the patrols are beating on the units instead of on the wall. In the south, you can see the walls are being effective. In the north, things are dying. Almost everything dead there, but I did get a time shifter spirit up near the orb and swamp drake. So now I've got some Era 3 units in there, better able to take on the Twilight Death Gliders and the Twilight Hags that are starting to come in. If you get enough Wind Weavers, they can really handle those things, but the Death Gliders have a knockback, and they also knock the Wind Weavers off the wall, so they're not the best thing to defend against them. And here a Horror made it through my defense and actually took down the orb. So I have to go summon another Wind Weaver at the first orb and bring it back into the south so I can summon that orb back. Fortunately, I have the Swamp Drakes there to cover against any attackers that were coming in during that. So now again, we're playing the waiting game. I can't really start building an offensive force to take on the Era 4 units in the northwest and southwest bases until I have a really strong self-sufficient defense in the north and south infected bases here. And that includes either Razor Leafs or towers behind walls. You want the walls up so that the enemies are beating on the walls, and you want towers or ranged units behind the walls to kill them while your walls take the damage. I'm not using towers, well, as you probably know from watching my videos, I like Razor Leafs a whole lot. Razor Leafs have a strong attack, and I'm going to put living towers up behind them to increase their strength even more. The patrols keep coming. The defenses are almost up completely in both north and south, so I should be ready to start building an offensive force as soon as I have the power. Now, these groups that I have here in the north and south right now are more than sufficient to hold those areas. A Razor Leaf behind walls, 3 Swamp Drakes, and a Time Shifter Spirit for healing. And the Swamp Drakes are good because they can even go out like this and do long-range raiding attacks. Twilight Hags and Death Gliders attack from long range, so it makes them actually better than having towers behind walls, because the Hags and the Death Gliders will just take out the towers, and the towers won't be able to fight back. So now with fully self-sufficient defenses in the north and south, I can start building an offensive force to attack the northwest and southwest. I really don't want to be micromanaging my defenses when I attack those tough bases in the northwest and the southwest. So I'm starting to build my offensive force, some drones, and a deep coil worm. I'm going to make a few more of those. And then when I have enough power, I'll use Enlightenment to bring in some great worms to really pack a punch for the attack on the Era 4 bases. Before I go, though, I can take that attack group and take it to the center of the map. It can help take out the defenses that are remaining around the edges of the map. It can also help by taking out these patrols before they make it to the north and south bases. Make things a little bit easier. And I can rebuild the power wells in the middle that I lost a while back because I was focusing on building up the defenses in the north and south. Getting these power wells up will help me get power faster to get Enlightenment and my Era 4 units more quickly. Swamp Drakes are helping out clearing out towers as well. And again, waiting game here. I'm waiting until I have enough power to summon a strong enough force that will definitely be able to take down the northwest and the southwest bases. I'm not trying to set any speed records with this replay, I just wanted to get it done. There are probably faster ways to do this. Well, there's a community challenge going on right now that will definitely show some faster ways to do this. Here I'm just using the assault group to clear out some more towers, make it easier for them to move around the edges of the map. I put up a Mindweaver tower there that's just basically kind of a fire and forget tower. I'm just going to put it up there and it'll probably get destroyed pretty quickly, but it'll help a little bit with the defenses. I lost a power well. I put it up again really quickly. Not sure if that was really power efficient since it cost me 100 power, but I need the power right now. I'm taking my assault group over to the west, get them ready to take on the northwest base. I don't want to attack the southwest base just yet. I could have done the southwest base first, I suppose, but the northwest base has a 4th orb, and I want to get that first. The Great Worms got a little anxious there and attacked before I was ready, but now everybody's together. And here I cast a regrowth, even though I didn't really need to, because I had cast Enlightenment and I was at my unit limit, so rather than just waste the Enlightenment spell, I went ahead and casted regrowth and summoned a couple of Swamp Drakes to actually reach the unit limit. You see this attack force is having no trouble with the Era 4 units. The Twilight Dragon went right down. I dropped a couple of Mindweaver towers outside the base in case I ran into trouble and I had to retreat. The Mindweaver towers would have helped me, but it turns out that my force was plenty strong and it took out that whole area without any trouble. Not any losses too, I think. And while it's not technically necessary to clear all of the walls around the base there, I'm going ahead and doing it anyway. I don't want to see that ripped blob up there anymore. So now I built the 4th orb. I have all the power wells up and running. And I'm ready to go attack the southwest base. On the way I'll take care of a patrol. Now that I have the 4th orb up, I can summon without Enlightenment Era 4, but I'm at my unit limit, so probably only use it for regrowth from here on out. And I'll start the attack from north of the ledge. Attacking over the ledge, the Twilight Abomination just kind of stands there. Twilight Dragon comes in and I pop a regrowth spell to take care of its damage. The Abomination eventually wakes up and comes and takes one swipe and dies. Oh well, made things easier for me. And here a valiant little unit of drones goes in there all by itself and tries to kill something, and while everybody else is getting healed, it sacrificed itself for the greater good. A large group can come in though, and looks like I lost a deep coil worm there, but I replaced it. And now we are ready to head to the northeast and finish off the map. On the way, I have to be careful though, since my time shifter spirits are slow. They actually got tangled up with a patrol there. I had to come and make sure that they made it to the northeast okay. One last pause for healing here, and in we go. Chaining regrowth should make this attack relatively painless, although there are a lot of strong units on the other side of that wall. Not just the dragon and the abomination, but there's death gliders, horrors with their paralyzing attack, hags, shamans, lots and lots of archers. Some of my guys are getting pretty hurt here. 3 great worms and 3 deep coil worms to pack a big punch though. It doesn't take them long to break through. I wasn't really paying attention at the end here. I could have ended things more quickly by just killing that last Twilight infestation, but I let my units go crazy for a little while before I finished the map. Now, behind enemy lines is a tricky map, but it's not hard once you get the timing down at the start. It's not the kind of map you can just jump into. It does take some practice, but things get a lot easier after you've secured 3 orbs. You don't even really need Nature and Enlightenment at the end. Era 4 units make it easier, but towers and strong ranged units can secure that 4th orb just as well. And once you have the 4th orb, your Era 4 units can own the rest of the map. I hope you've enjoyed this replay, and I hope you find it helpful.